Hello, everyone. This is Miss Gok here, and welcome to another segment of virtual ELA learning through a YouTube video. Today, I'm going to teach you guys about juxtaposition. All right, everyone, pause real fast. I want you to say this word with me: juxtaposition. Okay, good. Did I low-key just feel like Dora? A little bit. All right, hopefully you said the word juxtaposition, one, because it's fun, and two, because it is one of my favorite literary devices. That's why I have this Bitmoji here celebrating. I love when authors use juxtaposition. I think it creates so much drama, and it gives a lot of power to the reader when you can recognize juxtaposition. So I'm not only going to teach you what it is today, but I'm going to show you some really quick examples in visuals and from movies and TV shows. So before I can get going with the examples, I do want to explain what juxtaposition is. So juxtaposition is placing two things back to back or side by side in order to demonstrate how they contrast. So as opposed to just our basic skills of comparing and contrasting things, juxtaposition sets the reader up to be able to contrast. So it's something that the author does intentionally. Also, I only say contrast here and not compare, because the focus here is on the differences between things, right? So yes, they might be showing you two things that have similarities, like the picture below, but your focus is on how they're different. So just like with this picture, we see four chairs here, but one is very clearly just so much different than the other ones. So this is juxtaposition because of how they set up this picture, your eye goes to the ways in which the chairs are different, not how they're the same. And then it creates kind of some drama and effect for the reader because it's not just a picture of one chair and a picture of another. You have one very different ornate chair in between a lot of basic chairs. So why do authors use it? There are a couple different reasons. One, like I just said, it might show how two things that are pretty equal contrast with each other. So maybe it's two things going on, and because of where they're placed and how they're described, the author can show you like exactly how they're different. And I say equal because it's not one thing versus a whole group of things, it's two equal things. However, that brings me to my next point. Juxtaposition can also show how one object stands out against a group. So for example, with this picture here, we see that one chair stands out from the group of chairs. And in this situation, the chair that stands out seems to have like a lot of power, right? In other versions, it might show you how one person stands out from a group and actually lacks power. Another reason is to create drama. Simple as that. An author might show something really dramatic through juxtaposition because it kind of like the reader and the viewer, and sometimes even the characters, don't see it coming. And so that juxtaposition or that contrasting ideas really can create drama and tension. And we're going to see that in a couple of the examples soon. The last thing might be to show how a character is wrong. That kind of goes with the idea of creating drama, but in this situation, one character might state something or might have an idea, and the juxtaposition comes when their rival character or a different character states their opinion, and they're different and contrasting. And a lot of times that first character kind of has to rethink what they said because that juxtaposition shows them just how wrong they can be. So here are a couple visual examples of juxtaposition, and it kind of lines up with the different purposes here. So when I talked about two equal things and showing how they're different, that's kind of what I mean by this top middle image here. We see two hands. One hand is holding a flame, the other hand is holding a wave. Both elements are very powerful here, right? Fire obviously has a lot of power and it burns, and there's a lot of sparks. Like, we understand the power of fire. And a lot of times we doubt the power of water, but as you're looking at this picture here, the way that they set it up is that the water and the wave could crash over the fire, and suddenly the water has a lot of power. So this juxtaposition is showing how these two elements are very different, but also how they're kind of equal in power. This picture down here in the bottom left is showing you just two very, very different things, and I think it creates a lot of drama because your eye is immediately drawn to the colorful bike that's sitting in the front of the image here, but in the background you can see a tank, right? We see this little tiny bike, but then there's a lot of drama because you see something so aggressive, so powerful, so bland in color behind it, right? It either gives a lot of power to the tank because the tank can very easily crush over this bike, or it gives power to the bike because the bike is in the forefront. So depending on what the author is trying to convey to the reader, they might see the front bike as being the most powerful because it has the most color and it brings the most joy. So it all depends on how the author spins this, how they're going to use this drama that they created. The last picture over here is the picture of the penguins. And as you'll notice, this one shows how one is different than the group. So here we see he has a lot of color. His feathers look very sleek. He is looking in the exact same direction as most of these penguins here, minus this person up front. But as you'll notice, the whole group looks different than him. So even though he looks very powerful and being the way that he is with his colors and his feathers and his height and everything, the majority of them are these brown penguins, and I think that means that they're the female penguins. So you'll notice that they are very separated from the group. It does also create drama, but depending on what story is trying to be told, you either see one against the group or one has a lot of power over the group. So again, drama. I am now going to show you a couple examples from movies and TV shows of juxtaposition. They're probably things that you watched and either thought were funny, you thought there was a lot of drama here, and as they're playing, I'm going to kind of explain where the juxtaposition is. It's something that can happen really fast. Sometimes you don't notice it even, but when you do, it really gives you a lot of power as the viewer because you can see things that the characters don't see. So the two questions I have over here: how is juxtaposition used to contrast two characters or their ideas? And then what effect does just juxtaposition have on the audience? So remember, you're the audience. When you watch these scenes, think about, what did juxtaposition do here? All right, so let's get this thing started.
Water's boiling. Quick, chuck them in. Come on, chuck them in.
Okay.
Let's go. In the pot, in the pot.
But Marge, look at the little guy.
It was like an ordinary cow. Son of a...
Feel that, Marge? He likes you.
So I want to explain that one real fast. The juxtaposition is pretty obvious in this one. It's in the way that Homer and Marge look at this lobster, right? Homer sees it as this adorable little pet, right? That's sometimes how I look at my kittens. It's so precious. And then Marge is seeing this gross bug creature. And then so they also view him chomping on her nose differently. She sees it as an attack, where he's going to see it as a sign of affection. So that juxtaposition is pretty obvious. But now we're going to take a look at Star Wars, see something a little bit less obvious.
Join me, and I will complete your training. With our combined strength, we can end this destructive conflict and bring order to the galaxy. I'll never join you! If you only knew the power of the dark side. Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father. He told me enough. He told me you killed him. No. I am your father.
So in this one, we're noticing that not only is there a difference between Darth Vader, he's wearing all black, he's talking about power, control, order, and then we see Luke, who stands for kind of like the good side, the rebels, and he's wearing all really light colors here. So not only do we have the visual juxtaposition of that, and you see Darth Vader, standing very much in power, you see Luke is only using one arm, like he is struggling here, he's very emotional. But the juxtaposition mostly lies in what they say. So Luke says that Darth Vader killed his father, and Darth Vader says, I am your father. So it's that juxtaposition of ideas here where Luke doesn't really know what's going on. He's wrong. And Darth Vader is able to contrast what he's saying almost by saying the opposite. Like, no, I didn't kill your father. I am your father. Like, very big difference here. So it does not only show the differences between the characters, but it shows how Luke is wrong in this moment. This is a good one.
And I'll be doing whatever snow does in summer. A drink in my hand, my snow up against the burning sand, probably getting gorgeously tanned in summer.
All right, so that one, pretty obvious again, the juxtaposition here. So he's talking about what snow does in summer, and because all of you guys are in Syracuse right now, I know that you know that snow is not going to do well in the summer, right? So part of this is showing how wrong he is. Part of this is adding drama later when he can be near like a fire and in the sun. But it is showing the difference between the brightness of summer and then him being really cold, and also just him not having a clue at all what's going to happen to him. So it does create some drama, but also it creates some humor too.
What's your name?
Gamora?
You're quite the fighter, Gamora.
Now go in peace. Meet your maker.
Okay, so a little bit of juxtaposition here between both the characters and the situation. So the characters, you see juxtaposition because you see Thanos, this huge creature, right? Thanos is giant, but then you have little baby Gamora, and you wouldn't think that they'd really be able to come together here. And I think that's kind of the point, right? You see Gamora is young, small, innocent, and then Thanos is big, and we know that he's evil. So you see the juxtaposition in the characters there. However, the juxtaposition of them having this moment that Gamora thinks is probably like really touching, and Thanos ends up finding it very touching, and we know that he looks at Gamora like his daughter, but behind them is like a mass like slaughter destruction. So you have this very like sweet moment happening between Gamora and Thanos, but then also behind them you see such destruction, and it really does add a lot of drama and kind of shows, the true being of Thanos and just how wrong he is about his relationship with Gamora. I am going to fast forward here to one more. We're going to skip the Grinch and go to the Dark Knight. Here is a great one.
And why do you want to kill me? I don't want to kill you.
What would I do without you? Go back to ripping off mob dealers? No.
You complete me. You're garbage. Who kills for money?
Don't talk.
Okay, so with the Joker and Batman, first of all, you see the juxtaposition in just the way that they look, because the Joker is so colorful, he's smiling, he's laughing, his eyes are filled with a strange joy. And then there's Batman, who is like, his face does not change the entire time. He's speaking in a really deep tone. He's wearing all black. His face is covered. Like, you can see such an obvious difference, again, just by the way that they look. However, in what they say too, Batman points out that the Joker wants to kill him, and he looks at them as enemies, whereas the Joker is almost presenting to him that, like, you're not my enemy, you complete me. Like, I would not be me without you. I need you. Which is interesting because it really makes Batman think, if you haven't seen this movie, it really makes him think about, like, what is the Joker trying to do? And it kind of shows him how wrong he is and creates so much drama because there's a lot going on following that scene. So hopefully this helped you to understand juxtaposition a little bit. Remember that the whole point is for the author to show you contrasting moments, and it gives the power to the reader to be able to figure out, well, how are these moments contrasting? Is it about the characters? Is it about what they're saying, what they're doing, their thoughts, emotions? And just remember that that power is with you, and it's up to you to analyze those things. So hopefully this video was helpful. If you have any questions, that's what I'm here for. And if you need to, I would look up this video. It's called Juxtaposition in Movies. All right. Good luck, guys, and I hope that this helped. Bye.